Good evening, everybody. It's Dr. Earl here with Minnesota Vikings fan, and I've spoke about doing a show like this for a while now, and I finally got the chance to do this. This is Dirty Brown Eye Drama here, and the title was
Hell yeah, Dr. Brown. What up, motherfucker?
Minnesota Vikings fan, everybody here, and this is kind of like a little drama show that we got going on here. We'll be discussing not really the drama within the community, but mostly drama within the reaches of society. Like we're going to
Yeah.
be taking a look at all the bullshit things that's been going on with seeing the families, celebrities, like I know we got a few things to talk about Britney Spears when you think about it. Of course, that singer
Oh, that
Kasha.
deal, that deal is fucking crazy, dude.
I know we got to talk about that because that alone is a soap opera and a half when you think about it there. And plus, I
Sure
want to
is.
I want to start off with something there that I remember reading an article accidentally, and this kind of relates to the bullshit that Bullfrog was doing for a while. I think he's
Mm,
still doing it. Sexually harassing people in people's DMs on Twitter and elsewhere. There, he got
oh
called out.
yeah.
He got called out massively. He got called out by Dave Rose. He got called out by Shell. He got called out by this person, that person. I mean, he was massively called out on Monetize This 255 there when we first heard about him, or at least I have. But it was revealed that he was, he comes in complaining about why the community is attacking him and such. He wasn't making no sense with what he was trying to say. Then it was revealed that he was going into people's DMs, saying things like, "You want to get froggy with me? Let's get froggy. Oh, you want the bullfrog here and there." I mean, he was doing it
Hmm.
on Skype. He did it to Ken. He was doing it to Joe. And you remember there was a press conference for the Grand Tribunal that Dave
Hmm.
Rose was going to do on him, but sadly, for some reason, that was taken down. I don't know why. I was able to
Cause he
get it.
didn't wanna. I don't know. He didn't wanna. I don't think do it.
You didn't
You
want
know what
to?
I mean?
Well,
Nah.
yeah,
He was
really.
gonna, but then Bullfrog I think disappeared.
Yeah, well, this is before he disappeared. I think he's now somewhat coming back. I know. He kept saying he's going to go away, but he always comes back. The guy cannot make up his mind lickety split no matter what because we all know he's mentally challenged for a shizzle. But precisely, man. That's how the community feels about him.
Go away, Bullfrog.
Yeah, he's done. He's been done for how many months now. I mean, you and I tried to convince him of a few things here. You and I, we tried to talk to him. Joe tried to talk to him. Ken tried to get things through to his head, but sadly, he just won't listen.
I think he's back over hanging with Joe Cronin.
Oh, really?
I think
But
so.
but then again,
I
at
saw
this.
I seen him on Gargot's stream last night.
Oh, really? Yeah, I heard about
Yeah.
this guy a few times. I understand. Is he a liar or what?
Who? Gargots?
Yeah, I understand. I heard that's why I heard from Nikki Nines that a couple of times before I called you when I was on the YR program, some live stream.
That's what I think of Gargots too.
Yeah,
He does lie. He's
yeah.
he's a, he's a Joe Cronin crony. You know what
Um,
I mean?
yeah, I hear you. One of it is
Well,
well, one
one of
person.
them butt kissers.
Well, I know, and I'm one person I'm glad not to see it for a good long time is always nerdy. That guy always, I don't know. He pissed me off a couple of times in the past. When you when I was on there on Monetize This along with you, he was just about insult everybody. When you think
Yeah,
about it.
he did kind of do that.
Yeah, a lot of times call me a flip flopper, saying nothing happened between me and that Amy girl. It's like, how do you know? Were you even there, homie? Or do you live in Texas? Were you there when it actually when it went down there? If you did, you knew me. Why didn't you come up and say hi, homie?
Right?
So
Yep.
he's just a. I know he was trying to, according to Ken, fit the mode of the program, but sadly, it just, I don't think so. It just didn't work that way. I don't know where he is or what the fuck he is doing, but who gives a flying fuck? He was just a, I don't know. He's just rubbed
He
me off the wrong.
sucks, dude.
He does exactly. Oh my gosh. When it was back to the the thing that Bullfrog kind of like is now representing. You know, I was reading this article and I forgot which web page it was on, but it was written by a gay man, and it was basically calling out other gay men and women out there to stop hitting on straight people. You know, and and this has been, and the reason I bring this up because Bullfrog has a tendency to hit up on people who are straight, who are married, happily married. I mean, like the last time I was on a Ken's program this past Friday Night Fire, he was leaving messages for Ken saying, "I'm wet for Ken."
Hitting all over him again.
Yeah, absolutely. A constant message after message after message. It's like Bullfrog cannot take a hint. He just doesn't want to listen.
What a nasty fucker.
He is, absolutely. And he wonders why he's so hated by this community. But then again, I mentioned this before, and I even mentioned it to Tommy when we had a little private Skype call. Bullfrog is basically he's basically doing what they call is the Predator Stigma. Now,
Yeah.
the Predator Stigma is where a gay man or a woman is continuously hitting on a straight individual, but not taking no for an answer. And this has happened multiple times. It's happened on the show Catfish. It's happened on the Jenny Jones show, which I've really got to bring up there because I'm sure you'll all remember that scenario there. And it's also happened on with a couple other people back in Michigan, for I remember. Let me give you an example. There was this flaming homo named Brian, one of those drag queen type of guys. He was trying to hit up on a straight dude named Keith, who I used to know there. Not the Keith or Barber, who I guess he lives in Florida, if I'm correct. But
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Now this Keith was he was simple. He was a straight dude. He was into chicks. He was trying to find a girl of his own. Blah blah blah. But this flaming homo named Brian was trying to hit up on him. Trying to. He just wouldn't take no for an answer. He wouldn't. Keith kept telling him. He told me. He told my girlfriend at the time, Nancy, that this Brian will not leave me alone. I'm going to punch him one. He said, like, you don't want to do that, man. The best thing you do is take him outside and have a few words with him. Which eventually came about to that. Few weeks later. Keith was dragged outside of this one club in Royal Oak, Michigan, and Brian, he almost came close to getting his ass kicked by Keith until one of the bar securities came out there and broke it up. And is someone calling you?
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
I can't answer my shit.
Oh yeah, we cannot forget this. It's kind of funny you play that. Can you pause that for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of funny. Bullfrog will call Ken or somebody else multiple times, but yet he gets upset when somebody's calling him unexpectedly. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What up, Almighty?
Hey.
Yeah, I figured that's what I was doing. See, I got three different phones, right? And all of them got different multiple clips.
Yes,
so
I know.
I was switching phones to the one this one had a bunch of Bullfrog clips in it. There's more. You want to hear the rest of it?
Yes, definitely. We could definitely continue the
I froze
discussion.
up my shit.
It's always fun hearing him lose his shit there, but I should say.
Yeah, I'm glad I got it. This was a good one I got recorded.
Oh, man.
Because he gets madder and madder.
I know, yeah. I still can't forget when he he was yelling at Joe Cronin, do something about it, Joe Cronin, make it stop. Come on. Cronin doesn't run shit. This committee runs its own self.
Yeah, this is... Dude, what? I'm not going to get a show. Not unless you're going to ask me a bunch of weird shit.
Bullfrog, the only reason why I asked those questions was because your chat asked that. You're saying that I'm asking you weird questions? That's what your chat asked.
Yep. Yeah. And what up to Costanza and Bolsey in my chat over here. But Anyway, the thing, this has happened a few times before where a straight person gets hit up by a gay person, and no matter how many times the straight one tries to tell the gay man or woman, I'm straight, I'm into the opposite sex, the gay person just keeps on pursuing.
Oh, here's a Bullfrog racist one.
Oh, yeah.
You like them kickers?
Yeah, I have no problem.
Mean, you like them black people there, baby? You like them kickers?
See?
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad, huh?
Oh, guys, and let me guess, that's old man Davey they was speaking to?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. I bet, and old man Davey is in the...
That's about as racist as it gets.
Stupid asshole. I don't know. I don't...
That's bad, huh?
I know. Like, I'm still rooting for the day that Bullfrog gets his ass beat by a couple of blacks there when they find out about all this, you know?
Yeah, when you hear him talking like that.
Like, precisely there. I don't... the man is obviously deranged, as we know. Now, I'm going to bring... You all know the Jenny Jones scenario, right? That happened around 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those who don't know, who are probably younger than both of us here, Jenny Jones, her old talk show, featured a couple guests from my home state of Michigan. A waiter named John Schmidt. He was brought in as a guest when he was informed that by his friend Donna that they set up to appear on that show called Secret Crushes. Now, Schmidt presumed that it was a woman that had a secret crush on him when it turned out to be a guy, Scott Adamir, who this woman, Donna, and Schmidt knew. But Schmidt didn't know that Adamir had a thing for Schmidt. So after the show, which, by the way, I guess left Schmidt with a bad taste in his mouth, because apparently he got harassed, he got made fun of at his workplace. He worked as a waiter after people saw that. And to make Adamir, apparently, according to Schmidt and a couple others, would not leave John Schmidt alone. He was leaving notes on his door, leaving little things like license plates or some other little knickknacks here and there. And finally, Schmidt just lost it, and he confronted Adamir at his doorstep and shot Adamir twice in the chest. Now, Schmidt was put on trial. It made a lot of national news, this whole case, because I know Jeffrey Feiger, one of the top lawyers in Michigan, he was calling out shows like Jenny Jones, Ricky Lake, because he's always putting people on the spot, pulling the rug underneath their feet, In fact, there was even a debate on Judge Judy about this whole case between Feiger and Morton Downey Jr. Rest in peace. I used to love his show. And they were talking about how these shows, it purposely, set people up to be knocked down to the ground for some oddball scenario that they're involved in, whether it's a drug test or a secret crush or a surprise, here and there, or breakup that's presumably going to happen. But the idea is that, Adamir couldn't get it in his head that Schmidt was a straight man, but yet it's happened, but yet he just couldn't handle it. And as a result, he ended up getting killed for it. Now, Schmidt, as you know, is free. He's been released from prison. And, of course, his brothers did an interview. Of course, Adamir's brother, I should say.
I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. I will. Now, of course, Adamir's brother, made a little video saying, "I hope you're sorry for what you did to my brother Scott." Well, I'm sure Schmidt is sorry he did it. He was probably not at his right mind at the time. But you also got to remember, when someone says no, they mean no. And sadly, there are some people out here who don't accept that. Now, I'm going to give out another scenario here. My friend Cindy, her and her older sister came by a club called Lipsticks, where I was at on a Sunday evening. It was Alternative Sundays. It was a pretty good stop there. I used to hang out there a lot of times. Made a lot of new cool friends here. All that good jazz there. DJ Jamie St. James, shout out to him. I guess he works at a talk station, the AM talk station over there. And apparently, Cindy, when I was away getting me a drink, when I came back, was being hit up on this lesbian. Now, the lesbian who knew who I was there, because she said she seen me around the clubs a few times there, and apparently, she wanted Cindy's number. Now, Cindy, did give it to her, blah, 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 thinking that she made a new friend. Not so. The lesbian was constantly calling Cindy almost every day, almost every hour, every evening, just come on, And finally, the older sister had to step on in, and said, hey, she had to make the call to the lesbian to say, hey, lay off. Lay off now. She was even telling Cindy at the club, saying they won't leave you alone. They keep bugging you. They'll keep bugging you no matter what.
Yeah.
Because they do, and that's happened, Now, since the sister stepped in, Cindy has been left alone by this lesbian, and everything's okay. But, surely that left a angry taste in Cindy's mouth. And also, we cannot forget James Charles, the YouTube beauty influencer. He got called out a couple years ago by an ex-friend of his named Toddy Westbrook, another influencer, for trying to hit up on all these straight dudes and, not taking no for an answer. And you wouldn't believe in that. He mentioned a couple times to her, would he like to do to this person, this guy, that guy, which basically made her want to barf, which is why she broke ties with him. She made a video saying, bye, sister, calling him out, saying, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want nothing to do with this guy, blah, blah, blah. Well, apparently what it was is that in a couple months back, he got called out for trying to sending explicit message to a boy that was apparently allegedly 15 years old.
Wow.
Yes. Now, Trisha Paytas, who is Tommy NC 2010's crush there, he made that well known many times. As well.
Can you hear that?
Yes, I hear it loud and clear. And also, by the way, Kylie Jenner, she even tweeted out, shame on you, and then with the hashtag, James Charles. Because
fucking stalker! I want to urinate, fucking stalker! You fucking sand nigger bitch!
Oh gosh, stupid ass. I know you love playing that because it puts him in his place. Yep.
It sure does. You heard that, right?
Oh yeah, we all know it. Absolutely. But the thing is, I want to know, have you ever had any cases like that going on in your state of Minnesota where somebody is straight is being pressured, into the gay lifestyle here and there?
Maybe Bullfrog. No, I don't know.
Oh, I was going to say if he was hitting up on you, so like, oh shit, save all those whatever text messages he gives you. Save him, send him to Dave Rose, or better yet, report him to the police.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, and basically, the writer of this article that I mentioned earlier was obviously, of course, a gay person. He was saying, quote unquote, we as gay people need to stop doing this because it's making us look bad terribly. Because it's making us look predators, makes us look like sickos, and it makes us look like molesters, And here's something else I need to bring up here. Back around 1986, there was a 6-year-old boy named Sean Moore who got murdered by this older guy, this grown man. Apparently, according to the press there, the man said he had all these urges, Now, today, the guy would be considered just a sick pedophile, who committed a crime, who is probably right now still rotting in jail. But back around that time, they used to compare pedophilia to homosexuality. They would liken the two together because they figured it doesn't matter if it's young or it's old or it's a teenager. If it's got a pecker between its legs, they'll go for it no matter what. That's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And to some people, that kind of stigma still resonates in people's minds.
True.
And I guess what makes it mad is, it makes us mad is that, this kind of puts a damper on all the gay acceptance, all the Pride Month, the stuff that went on last year here and there. It's kind of it just makes no sense. And with all this stuff about the Epstein Island going on and all this stuff going on here, all these dirty secrets coming out about this person, that person, and plus it makes you wonder. Makes you wonder, man.
Yeah, makes you wonder what really did and didn't happen, huh?
I know but the thing is, I kind of agree with this writer of the article that I mentioned. If the gay agenda needs to, if they want more to be accepted, they want more respect, they need to stop doing like this.
Successful connection.
Yeah.
They need to stop this. But of course, now one of the reasons, now going back to the Brian and Keith situation, Brian often was talking with some lady friend who I also knew, and I asked Brian, well, why couldn't you take no for an answer? Brian said, I don't want to be alone. Because he was a hard time. Because at the time he was having a hard time trying to find a mate of his own. So they had to resort to that. Now, I'm gonna bring up something else here. And I'm sure you probably have heard about these kind of cases as well. The fear of being alone.
Successful connection.
It's called the fear of being alone stigma that many women have a lot of times.
Bluetooth launch mode.
And of course, and I brought this topic up to one time to Rada Kitty and Gina J one time on one of Rada Kitty's programs. The fear of being alone, that they got to have somebody by their side, they got to have a man with them. Now this has happened to a couple people I knew. One who now used to live in Texas. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied here. One who used to live in Michigan but now lives here in Texas. Now
Bluetooth launch mode.
Now I also used to date this woman around 1995, around the fall of that year. It was about for a couple months, but I broke it off because said, when we going to get together? Oh, I can't do this here, I can't here. She was a single mom. Her daughter was about a newborn at that time, so I had to let it go there. Plus, there were a couple times I was trying to get her attention. She wasn't paying attention to me, so I said, fuck it. So here's the thing. She breaks her current husband before they became married there. He was a heroin addict. I don't know if he's still doing heroin or whichever there. Now, the guy who admits that has an addiction there, I'm an addict, but I can't really help those things that I do at times. He took rent money that she had to pay rent with, and of course he obviously bought heroin with it. Now, addicts have been known to steal from shops, stores, many places there, so they could turn it in for drug money.
Wow.
Now, here's the funny thing. She finally boots him out. She finally gets rid of him. Then I find out from a post on Facebook from one of her friends, who is also another friend with me on there as well, that she says, if you're still friends with this person here, you could remove yourself from my list. So what's going on here? She apparently, this person that I dated, went back to this junkie. Why? Because she didn't want to be alone. She's only happy unless she has a man by her side. Now, there was also another scenario. This woman named April. Her boyfriend was an older guy. He was an asshole. His name was Mike. He would often try to talk to her like a child. He often treat her like crap a lot of times. All that whole bullshit there. He was one of those guys who grew up believing women are beneath me. I am the bringer of the money. I am the man of the house, and you just do what I tell you to do. Blah, blah, blah. Now, this guy, Mike, dumped her on the corner there and took off one time. Apparently, he wanted to have some fun on his own. She called my girlfriend's parents, just so they could pick her up and take her back to our place where I was staying at that time, which was by Illinois Avenue in Detroit, after I moved back there. Apparently what it was is that, Mike dumped April bad. And apparently I was talking to her, say, hey, now you could do what you want to do. You could do what you like to, go wherever you want, go to this club, anywhere you want to, go to this place. And April said, yeah, but you don't understand. I don't want to be alone.
Right.
Another friend of mine on Facebook who lives in Mississippi, she went back to her abusive biker boyfriend 3 times because of that fear of being alone. Because I spoke to her one time on the phone, and she was like, I'm alone for the first time here, and I don't like it. Because what she used to do was she would go to one relationship right into another, right? Bing, bing, bam, boom. Which is not a good idea, because if you're done with one relationship, you got to give yourself time to heal. Then you start another one. But apparently this friend in Mississippi, went back to this guy 3 times, and at the 3rd time, she dumped him out, she got rid of him, and said, I'm done. I'm out of here. Now she's a lot more happier, she's a lot more focused. Her best companion right now is a female pit bull named Phoebe, who I've seen many times, is adorable. And we often hear about many women at times, saying that afraid of putting it up with all this abuse from their boyfriends or husbands out of this fear of being alone. And I'm trying to figure out, where did this fear come from? Where did this idea? Is it because they see everybody else with a man by themselves and they feel left out? Or was they were always alone when they were growing up with hardly any friends here and there? And I guess that kind of stems from that onto their adulthood.
Yeah, maybe.
And the thing, and here's the thing that bugs us. No matter how
Bluetooth receiving mode.
That fear of being alone is outweighing, their physical health, their mental health as well. I mean, when you think about it, do they need to suffer all that abuse from these asshole guys that they're involved with?
I don't know.
No, they don't. They don't need to put themselves through that. I mean, nobody should deserve to be in an abusive relationship, no matter what.
Yeah, no problem.
Nobody needs to put that there. Nobody needs to go through that.
Spick, Jungle Bunny, Jigaboo, Heat, Kike.
Davey, I got one for you. Do you like those kickers, Davey?
Slam tights.
Oh, gosh. Asshole. What an asshole. Gosh. I hope someday he gets his just desserts, man. We're all waiting for that day there.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Give us a break, Bullfrog. You should know better, but sadly he doesn't, From what I understand, from Ken, he gets weighted hand and foot. Everybody caters to him.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong way to raise a kid there. When you start giving all the things they want, they expect it in their adult life, and they're going to grow up feeling that they're entitled to this, they're entitled to that, But back to the fear of being alone. We've seen this many times with women and a couple times with the men as well. Now, also to make this perfectly clear, I want to bring this subject up with the subject I talked about previously about the Predator Stigma. that goes the same with straight men and women as well. Because we have heard many times that this guy wants to be involved with this gal, and she says, no, I'm not interested, but the guy won't take no for an answer. He won't. So he stalks her, calls her up, tries to get a hold of her, this and that. Here we've seen it many times on Geraldo. We've seen it many times on Jenny Jones, on other talk shows.
Right.
I mean, we've seen it many times. And yes, Costanza, I remember when Bullqueef wanted to play with my long hair. Ain't gonna happen, you son of a bitch.
Nasty fucker.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like he doesn't know. He needs to be. This motherfucker needs to go. This motherfucker needs to be.
Fuck you, Rapid Minneapolis. You need church, Rapid. No, just kidding.
Oh, what? Who is somebody in your chat?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
My buddy.
Oh gosh. I see there. It's kind of funny. Now we've seen this many times. Now here's something else I got to tell you there, and this is a true story. Buddy I used to know back in the around the 90s. His name was Jamie. He was one of those traditional goth kind of guys. He would. He often came out to Lipstick's nightclub on a Sunday many times in the past. Mm-hmm. And he would. And here's the thing. He was getting a couple times he would get a couple girls, 3 or 2 girls coming to him.
Bullfrog show. Tell him to get back here.
Okay, well then, I'll take off then, I guess. Alright? Even though I didn't think I was talking over when they did.
You know what that is, Dr. Brown?
Yeah, that's Redneck. He was one of those traditional goth kind of guys, And that's me there.
I'll take off then, I guess. Alright? Even though I didn't think I was talking over when they did. So.
Somebody is sending. Are you sending something on Skype there?
No, I didn't send that.
No, somebody's sending me something here.
Maybe
a couple of messages. I'm probably thinking. Probably this group that I was added to called Shitheads. They were saying something there. Yeah, it was called. I guess a bird. It was called We Love Something there. A name I couldn't pronounce, and I guess it was retitled Shitheads.
Nice. Wonder who was doing that.
I don't know. Probably it says, and look at who one of 2 of the members of this group is Bullfrog and Joe Blonin.
Wow, imagine that.
Oh, jeez,
There's a surprise, huh?
I know. What the fuck, dude? Shit. I'm surprised.
Seems fucked up, Dr. Brown.
I know it is. Now, going on to this Jamie cat here, you used to know, who said he passed away a couple of years ago. I guess what it was, he had had a heart problem, and it just caught up to him, I guess.
Wow.
These preppy guys who would come on to go to Lipsticks almost every Sunday night, they'll try to hit up on the same girls over and over, and the girls be like, yeah, whatever, blah, blah. They pay attention to their group and ignore these guys because he knew these guys were cheesy-ass sons of bitches. Now, all of a sudden, Jamie comes in with his, unique look that I mentioned, and all of a sudden we find out that Jamie was getting, he was talking to these 3 women there. And the preppies did not like that one bit. They felt they were like, what the fuck? This guy who dresses like a woman with all the makeup, he's taking our women, blah, blah, blah. And they tried to beat him up outside until the security had to come in. And this was when the club was done. It was time to go home at around 2 a.m. Eastern.
Wow.
Yeah, because these preppies were like super mad that the women that they were trying to hope to get in bed with were now hitting up on this one guy there.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty much. But in a way, would you consider what these preppies were doing being like a predator in a mode when you think about it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
There was. I also got to mention this. This woman, she would constantly harass me all the time back around 2014 after I moved here. Now, her name was Nicole. She lived in the Clinton Township area. She friends me on Facebook. I accept because she was mutual friends with another friend of mine named Jessica. So right away. She constantly messaged me. She DMs me. Wanted my information. Now, this was not a scammer, by the way. This was one of those women who are unattractive, overweight.
She was real.
Yeah, she was real. Yes, but the thing was, she was unattractive. She was overweight. And she had some sort of a little mental condition. So at the time she was living with her aunt. So she would constantly talk and try to message me all the time, all afternoon, all in the morning, all the evening there. I'm trying to apply for jobs here and there on this webpage or that webpage. And I had to stop because this woman was fucking driving me nuts. And I let her know about it a few times. At one point, she even said, how do you think I look? And I didn't want to burst her bubble. And I said, you look okay there. And she's like, putting up these crying emojis or whatever they call them, saying, oh, nobody ever tells me I'm hot. I'm like, well, lose the weight and maybe you will be hot. That's what I wanted to say to her.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't do it?
No, I didn't want to say, lose the weight. No, I didn't want to be that rude there. But when she would constantly message me all the time, I said, you know what, I can't take this no more. You're being like a stalker. You're being a pest. You would message me all the time. She would message me every day, every week. Well, she's like, well, I have news to you. Friends talk every day, blah, blah, blah. She also was like, you're the only person I ever talk to. I asked why. She was like, I have trust issues. Everybody leaves me. Everybody stops talking to me. Well, maybe because you're doing the same thing to them. Bugging the shit out of them. And here's something else. Every photo of myself in my upload section there, she would always say things like, sexy Earl, you're looking sexy. Every photo of myself. Every photo. I mean, come on, that's going a little bit too far. Wouldn't you say that's being a stalker right there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
and I let her know about that. And apparently, she couldn't get it through her head. Finally, it just unfriended her, and I blocked her, and that was it. Now, this went on for a couple of years when I decided to unblock her. She messaged me saying, I'm sorry, I know I fucked up, this and that, blah, blah. Now, she has sent me a couple of photos afterward. Now, she has also sent me a couple of messages here and there saying how she doing, asking how I was doing when Hurricane Harvey hit Texas like it did in 2017, and wanted to know if I'm okay. I said, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good. I just kept it about 1 or 2, 3 words because I didn't want to give it a long conversation because if I did that, she would start up her bullshit again. Finally, she said that she's getting married, blah, 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 and that was the last I've heard of her. And she has probably got it through her head that I don't want to speak to her no more. But she was one of those women who don't want to be alone, as we could see. And many times the women who don't want to be alone are the ones who are not attractive, overweight, have mental issues.
True.
I mean, we've seen this many times before. I mean, it's getting to the point where they have to resort to having serial killers for their boyfriend. I saw that on the Morton Downey Jr. show one time back in the 80s there. Yeah. Do you like it? Or do you like it hanging with the guy who kills people, the blood and the guts? He's like, no. So why are you still with him? She's like, I'm alone. I don't want to be alone. And that's about it. We've seen that many times before. People don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Now some guys are like the same way, but they often keep it they keep that silent because they don't want to let that let their masculinity fall down there.
Yeah. Hey, Brown, I'm gonna go have a smoke real quick. I'll be back.
Okay. All right,
All right,
gotcha.
take over, buddy.
I will there. Yeah. I just got a message on Skype right now from the Shitheads group here. And Bozy is calling me right now. I will add
him in.
I will. I gotta wait till he's done, because if I add him right now, it will take you off. I have to re-add you. Okay, I'll okay. Okay, I'll get. Okay, let's go. Let's get Okay, let's get Bozy on the line here. Bozy, you there, dude? There you. What's up, man? What's going on? Are you watching? How do you like the show so far? Pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually I actually really like it. Despite the view count, it's good.
That's good. Yeah, I'm discussing. Well, like I said, I'm discussing drama within society. You know, all the bullshit that's been going on here.
Yeah, it's a nice take on what you've been said so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, there's nothing I could say that could make it better. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, but the reason I need to bring this up, because as I mentioned, we've seen all this bullshit many times before. You know, we've seen it with men, women, and everything else. You know, people with mental conditions here and there, the fear of being alone. And another thing we're going to discuss when Vikings gets back is the Britney Spears situation. What's going on with her? I guess a judge, if I understand, denied her request to have a court hearing, to end this 13-year conservatorship with her bully of a father. I heard about it.
Sure.
It was me and my brother-in-law were talking about it, and he thought it was bullshit as well. Having total control of your finances, your life, telling you not to have kids no more, when to go out and perform such and such here and there. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, it's like total control. It's kind of like a dictatorship when you look at it there.
Yeah, and based on what the society we live in now, people are becoming more dependent than independent.
I know.
And since that happens, someone like, Britney Spears is going to be trapped because she depended on her father once before, and now he feels entitled.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, and it's going to be a long court. It's going to be a long court battle before he throws in the towel. There's no doubt about that. Because knowing how some people are, they love to have that control, especially her father. For what I understand, most fathers are usually dictators a lot of times to their kids. A lot of times, especially when their children are in the spotlight. Like, let me give you a couple examples. Papa Joe Simpson, who used to manage his daughter Jessica, and of course, Matthew Knowles, who used to manage his daughter Beyonce. Well, if I understand, Matthew Knowles was no angel. Apparently, he had total control of who went in and who went out of Destiny's Child. When two of the other members, spoke about we need to change the management, Matthew Knowles decided to boot them out of the group and replace with the two other members. Because it was originally a four-piece. The fourth lady there had to leave because it was sort of a situation that came up. So it was a trio here afterwards. Now the two former members, I guess one of them is LaToya Lunkett. She had a couple of solo hits soon afterwards. That was played on the R&B circuit there. She told a lot of stories about Matthew Knowles, and Matthew Knowles, he wanted total control over her because he wanted to dictate who it was. It's going to be it's going to be his show, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. Kind of like Papa Joe Jackson, the way he ran the Jackson family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all know how abusive he was towards his kids. That's why they were so dysfunctional as they were. Now, Joe Simpson, who used to manage Jessica Simpson, he's another one. He did not want Jessica to marry that guy, Nick Lachey, from that boy band 98 Degrees. It's obviously. Obviously, he didn't want Nick involved in her life. Why? Because if the male fans of her find out that she's in a relationship, they'll probably dump her for somebody else because they're no longer available. Because all these teeny bop magazines would put the teen idol on there, giving the impression that you could be the girl or the boy for her or him. I've seen that a couple of times before. Do you have the traits that it takes to be this person's boyfriend or this person's girlfriend there? We've seen that many times before.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of ways it's a lead on. It is an absolute lead on because it's basically saying, you know, even though the person who was reading the magazine is about 13 or 14 years old, they still have these high hopes that I can have Justin Bieber as my boyfriend. I could show off all the other boys at school who treat me, who didn't want me before because I'm fat and dumb and I got an attitude. We've seen that many times before. So and you know what? Here's the thing I need to bring up. A lot of them, they only see the star. They only see the person in the videos, but they do not know the individual behind the scenes. I mean, Jessica Simpson could be a total bitch. She could be a total diva. She could be a such and such and such. She could be into a sexual perversion, like we talked about earlier there. She could be into a girls on the side there. I mean, there was all these speculations here back in the past, that possibly Britney Spears may be a lesbian because she was caught reading a Playboy magazine in an airport hangout. That's what one dumb magazine, which is no longer functioning, reported. Thank goodness for that.
That seems like something everyone would make a big deal over.
Absolutely.
Just because she's Britney Spears.
Absolutely. And you also got to remember, teen idols are supposed to be, pictured as straight people here. It's supposed to be like available for the ladies here, available for all the guys here. That's how they want it. Whenever we see this teen idol get involved with this girlfriend or this boyfriend, the publicist always says something like, oh, they're just friends. They're just goofing around here. They did that with Chris Brown and Rihanna when they started going out. But we knew that there was something going up.
Yeah.
And we've seen it many times before, but that management is so afraid of losing that revenue, and sadly, but then again, you also got to think about it. Sooner or later, that phase is going to depart from that girl's or the guy's face. They're going to be moving on to other things. And that teen idol's going to lose sales. They're going to lose ticket sales just as well. They're going to probably be performing in either clubs or small theaters, like a retro tour or something like that. That's what they were saying Britney Spears would end up unless he straightened her shit out. Because a lot of people are saying, her career is over. She's done when she started shaving her head, beating up the paparazzi here and there.
Dirty ass Britney Spears.
Yep, I was talking about her conservatorship there. And
what up, Ballsy?
What up?
Welcome to the Dirty Brown Eye Drama. Episode 1.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the name of the show here. Yeah, that's what it's called.
What, bro?
I think.
Yeah, that's what it's called here. This is episode 1 here. And we'll probably sometime soon we'll do another episode there. All depends on the kind of drama that's been going on here. Now, the drama we need to also bring up Danny MT. Yeah, as you know,
your buddy,
my buddy, please. I'm kind of. Oh, jeez.
Fraud. That guy called me a fraud.
A fraud? Oh, really? You got to tell about this. What happened? When did this happen?
I didn't hear that.
Well, a while back. Well, not really a while back, but this was after Ken and YR beef. Now the split up, and now I hate everyone thing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Manti called in, and I was.
YR the disappearer.
Hold on. And Danny MT called in, but so they talk about his issues. I was added to the group chat,
Mm-hmm.
and then Danny MT comes at me saying, "Bullsy, you're a fraud." Like, whoa.
Oh shit! For what? For a reason? Just out of the blue?
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, what makes me a fraud? Why do I backstab people? He couldn't answer me that question. He's like, you're smart enough to know what you're talking about. You're just trying to fit in. Like, what? So I guess I said too much, which I usually just say what's on my mind, put it out there. That's why people like me in the general, because...
Well, this is what Danny is.
A crow?
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
You don't get...
Well, technically speaking, I basically say what's up in my brain because I see something that I may disagree with or see something that may be wrong, so I point it out. That's just what I do. Something that is usually, up your brain. You notice something, and you just have to say it, and everyone usually agrees. Because, they see the same things, right?
Well, maybe we're wolf packing them, right? Right, Daddy? We're wolf packing you.
You know what I'm saying, right? Because that's why I'm basically, I guess, being called a fraud. I don't know what makes me a fraud.
No, I don't think so.
That's bullshit.
But basically, I've said some things that I guess triggered some people and said, you know what? Mosley's full of it. Because hell, even on a poll that Joe made, I was included on the flip-flop list.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yep. I guess I flip-flop.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was mentioned earlier, the Always Nerdy did that with me when I was called in on Monetize. Says he was calling me a flip-flopper, saying nothing happened between me and that Amy girl from a couple years back.
Yeah, you were saying something about that, I remember.
Yeah, she was saying, if you were you really there? Were you really there? Do you actually live in Texas? If you were there, why don't you come up and say hi, introduce yourself? Hey, my name is Nerdy, Dr. Earl. How you doing there? Who's the lovely lady there? Who knows? Well, I already stated what it was. She had to leave with her friends, and I had to get home as well. But I did buy her a drink, and I thanked her for being part of that show. And that's what I know. I should have got her number, but at that time, I had to get up early for my job on Saturday mornings because this whole thing went down on a Friday evening up there.
Oh, why didn't Nerdy care in the first place? That's
exactly, because so many people were asking about that. People were asking. Even Joe had had me in his thumbnail for the next monetizer. Said, did Dr. Earl get laid? Well, he was hoping I would call him to give him an update, but at the time, I was earlier before that show went on. I got injured at my work. I got severely burned on my left wrist there, and so I had to go to the ER to get that bandaged up and getting taken care of. So I wasn't able to call.
Wow.
Yeah, I even showed it on Twitter there. What happened? Yeah. Oh shit.
Well, here's the thing. Whatever Dr. Earl does is none of our business, really. I don't know why some people would actually bother. Oh, Dr. Earl has a girlfriend. Let's just incite ourselves onto someone's relationship status for some reason.
Maybe maybe
not anybody else's fucking business.
Yeah, I know, but it's just some people just got to know probably got nothing going on in their lives. Nerdy probably sits around playing games all day and all night. And I guess he has a girlfriend. He bones her once in a while. That's if he can't get away from his gaming there. But it's some people don't. I guess the people who do that kind of shit don't have lives, so they got to interfere with other people's to make them feel wholesome, I guess.
Nerdy's girlfriend might be his sister that he just calls his girlfriend.
Oh my gosh! Are you really? Are you serious?
No, I'm joking. I'm just
Oh my gosh! So I was like, oh wow! So Nerdy and his sister / girlfriend could get together with Bullfrog's niece / daughter sometime.
Oh no!
I had to throw that in.
Yeah, Bullfrog would be down for that, definitely. I don't know about his girlfriend. Nerdy might get laid for first time in 7 years, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. And I think he's. I don't know if he's part of Monetize This. I haven't watched this show in God knows how long, for the past
He was
upteen.
I think he was in Joe's comment section earlier. I think so. So I'm pretty sure he's still around, just not doing much of it.
I see. Because there was one Monetize This which ended kind of like after 3 hours when that high-pitched guy Lewis got on the call there. And you know what I'm talking about, that Sky Lewis with the... Yeah.
High-pitched Lewis.
Yeah, because he has this high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
High-pitched Louis.
I know, yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
Hey, but Joe will put anyone on at this point. I don't have
That's
any
what Nikki
with...
Zions has said. Yeah, like at this point, everybody has left him. JB, Ken, Tommy, and I think his wife Leah very rarely comes on, like... Unlike what she used to. She used to be a part of the crew every Friday night.
Yeah. She don't come on much.
I know, but it's probably. You'll go ahead.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Monetize This. Joe will put on anybody on. I don't mind Louis. He's fine. As long as Drew is making fun of him, it's okay. He's at least the only one doing it. But I think he's leaving too.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I heard that.
That's what I heard too.
I heard about that as well. It's like, I guess he made the party for some reason. I don't know if it's personal or just getting tired of it, or just not what it used to be here and there.
Yeah. Sick of being
Drew has been. Well, yeah, something like that. But Drew has been trying Monetize This throughout some time. Joe usually relies on other people he could at least utilize to make look good or make fun of, because that's just shtick.
Yeah.
He's always utilized other people for content because he knew how to, play off of them.
Speaking of which, by the way, I said there was this premiere earlier. I guess it's the funny moments from Monetize This. And you remember the video I did, doing the Kylo Ren challenge?
Yeah.
Yes. He was kind of like mocking that, saying, and he had this, cover version of Space Oddity, the Bowie classic, playing some females singing that song there. And I guess he had my video slowed down, where I was displaying the Kylo Ren challenge in that clip there. He's kind of like mocking me, or I think it was mocking me. But then again, he never showed YR's video doing the same thing, because he was the one who did it after I did it. And can acknowledge that, give it up to Dr. Earl and YR for doing the Kylo Ren challenge. And the follow-up video,
I remember that.
Yes, I also even challenge, I even challenge everybody in this community, even JB, even though he's no longer around. Ken, Shannon, I know, yeah.
Well, I think he still shows up in some chats, but I just don't think he's doing shows anymore.
I know, it's sad because I used to love his content. During last year, during the pandemic, he would call me, I would call him, In fact, I remember on the Nikki Nines' interview show Conventions, he said he always loved taking my calls. He used to love calling me because I was such a goofball. I come up with some good stuff there when you think about it.
Well, you did come up with a good topic and run with it.
Yep, so. Absolutely. And do you agree with the stuff that we're discussing here right now, the topics we're talking about?
I actually do, because these are important things to discuss. Otherwise, how do we solve them?
Absolutely.
True.
Now,
and the problem is, there's not enough eyes on certain topics to be discussed so we can solve them. Unfortunately, media likes to turn a blind eye to everything that is a problem.
Yeah, because the media rather focus on what's going on with Kim Kardashian, because now she's dating that rapper Drake, for what I understand. And of course, what's going on with the trending fashion, what's going on trending on Twitter here and there. I mean, it's to the point now where media is now become our worst enemy. And the people who follow that worst enemy are becoming the absolute worst.
Mm-hmm.
You're right on that, Dr. Earl, because at this point, I read something about cuties.
The movie, yes, that movie, yes. I heard about that.
I read something about cuties. I didn't watch the movie. I watched some of the trailer, immediately turned off, didn't want to watch. Didn't want to bleach my eyes.
I know.
But
don't blame
Dave
me, man.
Rose kind of made me aware of pedophilia is being defended.
Yeah.
I read an article about cuties and be like, oh my god. There's people actually defending this?
Yeah, they are. They call it, I guess, let me guess, they're saying something like, it's an artistic expression. It's just like this and that. No, it's not. It's a bunch of underage kids, trying to twerk and all that bullshit so they could get attention. They probably see it from all these rap videos in the past, because remember, BTE used to play them late at night all the time there. That's almost every rap video was about. And we see all these female rappers like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and all that, dressing provocatively, trying to look all cool, look like the boss, and they figure this is how you get attention. We should do it as well. Look at all the attention we'll get, but not realizing that that's going to attract all these pedophiles, these sickos, these perverts, and I guess Netflix took a lot of heat from that when they put that movie on their channel there.
Well, Netflix wanted to give it a chance, saying, well, we don't know if it's pedophilia, promoting pedophilia. You look at the trailer,
It is, absolutely. No matter what, it's going to promote it no matter how they say it or how they try to disguise it or how many times they try to, twist the words or the narrative around. It's going to promote pedophilia no matter what. And, then the director who directed that movie, I'm sorry, he's probably not going to be seen in America any world premieres anytime soon after that. I know that for a fact.
I'm curious on the filmmaker's ideas or why he filmed it or what the purpose was filming that, because I want to know. Why did you film that?
I think what I mentioned earlier is because, we've seen this many times before with young kids out there. They see something on the TV and they try to mimic it. Like, for instance, I was a big fan of the Three Stooges as a young kid. I used to love those films that they put it out. I mean, like, they were classics. I would see them hit each other with saws, hammers, bing, bam, boom. Not a shed of blood or not a bruise, this and that. Turns out at the time those things were fake. We didn't know that as a kid at the time. Me and my sister tried to play the Three Stooges. I hit her with something. She starts crying. Her head was bleeding. I got a whooping from my dad for that. I was like, what did I do? I thought it was okay. And kids learn from what they see. I mean, if a little young boy or girl is going to grow up around an elder who uses a lot of racist language or acts racist towards other ethnic races, they're going to possibly do the same. That's what they grow up learning. If they grow up around a family of drug addicts, they'll be drug addicts as well.
Yep.
They learn from what they see. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yep. The original point that I was trying to say, because you said media is people's worst enemy, right?
Yes, right now.
Media, I read this. The mainstream media proclaims that the majority were standing with that.
Yep. And the majority and the mainstream people, and what the mainstream people who buy into that stuff, they are indeed the worst.
They are. Like, how do you get okay something like that?
I don't know.
Back in the 1990s, there used to be the most goofiest films and movies, like Tommy Boy.
Yeah, with Chris Farley.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
You got movies like that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm thinking Happy Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm Dumb and Dumber. You
Yep,
got
all
movies
those
like that
movies.
making it to the mainstream
Something
media.
About Mary.
Yeah, I think I've watched that before.
Yeah,
Cable
my
Guy.
girlfriend. Yeah, they'll watch. Yeah, we all see. Many of us seen those movies there. They had came out with a lot of crazy movies out there at the time. A lot of crazy comedies. I remember me and the girl that I was involved in briefly. We saw the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey from '93, and it was in the early. It was later on in the 2000s when we saw it at her place. Afterwards, we put on porn movie and then we fucked as always. How do we give the of course so and so, as you know. And then but those movies were like classics. But those movies nowadays, they'll be condemned for life by the sensitive crowd, the ones who like cancel this, cancel Pepe Le Pew, cancel Dumb and Dumber. Because it makes the people, it's depicting these mentally challenged people as bozos or retards and such. I think what it is, the ones who were made fun of, who were bullied as people, as the young kids or teenagers, the ones who were made fun of because of this situation or that reason, they finally got into these positions of power, and they're the ones provoking this as a way of, because all that stuff that they are seeing at that time is bringing back hard memories. Like, for instance, yeah, and that's what I think that's probably one of the big reasons why. Like, say, if this overweight person, used to get bullied every day for being fat at high schools, throughout all their high school years, preschool all the way to, the middle school to high school, they get called fat continuously. They see a movie like, say, about a fat person, doing all this dumb shit, a comedy, and everybody's laughing, everybody's enjoying themselves. That person who was made fun of, he's going to throw a fit because it's going to bring back harsh memories. They're going to condemn that movie, and they're the ones, and those are the people that usually advocate for fat acceptance, air quotes.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're fat, you're not healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look how many times Dave Rose tried to convince Bullfrog to eat a lot more, choose a more healthy lifestyle, but Bullfrog doesn't want to, because he's got. And I think, and you know what? Other people who went through the same situations, they're going to side with that particular advocate because they went through, as I mentioned, they went through the same situations themselves. The next thing you know, we got a sensitive army. We got this, advocating army, advocating for fat acceptance, no body shaming, no making fun of this person, no making fun of that person. You remember that one Playboy model who got herself in trouble when she kind of did a photo on Instagram, kind of mocking this overweight woman in the gym there, trying to take a shower. She had her hand above her, over her mouth, like, I guess it was considered a body shaming, I guess. And this model got lots of heat for that, She got called out massively.
Yeah,
She had to make an apology, soon afterwards because of all the heat that she was, getting from everybody else. I guess what it is that so many people have been brought up to be sensitive. We're supposed to be sensitive. Absolutely, they're supposed to be. You gotta have sensitivity. You gotta have compassion for doing. And that's what the majority of the people today, the adults, that's what they were brought up with. Any kid who grew up in the 1990s, who was a children watching, Freakazoid or Animaniacs, that's what they grew up with. And all the bands like, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, that's what they were preaching in their music as well. And, all these bands like Rage Against the Machine are preaching, socialism over capitalism. They grew up learning all that, and they accept into that, they buy into that, and they bring that kind of stuff into today's media, into today's world.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's also prevalent in 2000 and 2010.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of these. Here's one thing I will say about fats. Okay. I'll say this about that person, making fun of her peer of being fat.
Yes.
Here's one thing I will criticize her for.
Yeah.
That is your peer and your friend. Instead of making fun of her, why don't you motivate her to eat healthy and work harder? Because
well, this was at a gym when this was going on, when that photo was taken there.
Yeah, I would give her grief for, kind of shitting on your friend, if that was your friend, for being fat. No, you shouldn't, push her. Iron sharpens iron. So, do that.
Absolutely. That's
do
true.
That. That's what I criticize her for. If I wouldn't criticize her for making fun of a fat person, I'd criticize her for making fun of her friend behind her back. That's what I would.
Fat shamer.
Yeah.
That's what I.
And no Costanza, Bullfrog is not calling in. He's not allowed on my channel unless he apologizes to both Kevin and Bobby for the way he disrespected them last year. And of course, Bullfrog ain't going to do that.
He doesn't hold accountability for his own actions.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait. I think we got Bullfrog calling in. Oh, wait a minute.
Let me get. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Just block him if he keeps annoying. He's not going
to get racing Bullfrog.
Oh, there he is.
There's Bullfrog. What up, Bullfrog?
Okay. Then I understand. I get it.
Yeah, you gotta get racing Bullfrog every now and then.
There he is.
No, we don't.
What up, Bullfrog?
I've been in the worst fucking time.
Bro, kid, thank you for...
Oops.
Oops. Oops, there.
Oops, shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck that was?
Yeah, I just got done about...
You gotta get down with the kickers.
I don't have... I have no problem with black people whatsoever.
You gotta get down with the kickers.
Oh gosh, you dipshit.
I doubt he actually meant that intentionally to be harmful. He just didn't know what the fuck he was saying.
He knew what he was saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's with Bullfrog many times. He doesn't know what the fuck he's saying or he's doing. Like, there are many times he has tried to get a word out, and then he talks about something else. Like, you try to get something to his head, he used to be like, so what did you have for dinner this evening? And I'm like, throwing you all off.
Here's one for Ballsy.
Frog has COVID, apparently, he says. He thinks he's got COVID. He thinks he's got COVID.
Oh, gosh.
He's looking for sympathy over his dead father, but yet he's made fun of other people for their family members.
Yeah, but dude, why don't care? Like, why, but that's a lot
He's probably responsible for 1 million troll accounts of people's dead grandfathers and fathers. He's a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah, but I mean...
have sympathy for a guy.
Yeah, but I mean, like...
Scott is right on that one.
So is that me laughing at it? No, I'm just not.
Scott ain't never right about nothing.
It just happened, though.
We were in trouble in 97.
It just happened, though, dude.
Joe.
I don't give a fuck. The guy is a scumbag person.
That's terrible.
We've all made fucked up jokes, but like if something just happened, I mean, we might have...
My father died and people had fucking accounts talking about my dad.
I honestly, Scott, I wasn't there for that. I didn't see it.
Fuck, man, I'm not gonna have sympathy for a guy like Vikings fan. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Wow.
That guy's like one of the biggest scumbags in the entire community. The things that he does.
Not
and
true,
the fucking
Scott.
purple army that he comes from, dude. You guys don't even fucking have a clue, man.
Whoa, wait a minute, what's the purple?
Whoa.
You don't
What's
think
the
that
purple
he's
army?
gonna beat us, Joe? You don't really believe that he's fucking doing shit in this community? Are you that fucking retarded?
You think he's
the guy
gonna
literally was...
You think
he was simulcasting the night that Joe got hacked. He was simulcasting.
This is a sign of delusion and projection all at once.
Can you believe how long he went on and rambled about
I know,
me,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Ballsy, can you believe how long he rambled on about me?
Yes,
Once
I
he
know,
said
yeah.
Minnesota Vikings, I'm like, oh my god.
That whole
At
thing
first I
was
thought he
about
talking
me,
about-
dude. No,
I
I thought he was
know.
talking
No, that whole thing was
Hold on.
about
Let me
fucking
help
me.
you on this one, Minnesota Vikings. At first, I thought he was talking about himself.
No.
But then he says your name like, oh my god. Delusion.
But
Ain't that
also,
crazy?
yeah,
Ain't
it
that
is crazy.
too?
But the reason I said that Scott was right, because Bullfrog has in the past wished death upon Ken. He's also wished Alex Payne's country
that's
will get
fine.
hit by
That's
another
both-
hurricane.
But that whole thing was he was talking about me though, Dr. Brown.
I know, exactly. It's like I was
He wasn't
surprised.
talking about Bullfrog. That whole thing was about me.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck,
Is this
dude?
recently?
No, that was like about a year ago.
Oh, when
just about a year ago.
I would say
around
yeah,
2020.
During the COVID. I would say
during the pandemic, when we all had to stay fucking home.
During the pandemic for sure. During the pandemic, I had to clip that.
Yeah. It was probably early 2020 where I didn't know anything about scum, because 2020 is when I first entered into the community, so everyone seemed cool. Then I kind of got a different insight on everybody, like Shot, and then you and Bullfrog too, and and Joe Cronin, and here I am.
Well, definitely, Bullsy, when you get time, go back to the old episodes of Monetize This from 2017, 2018, and to do the same for Farmhouse Network and listen to all those shows, and you'll definitely get a good description of how, according to Ken, or how Scott was at that time. You remember, as Ken used to call Scott Cock McSkinnon many times in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was told. I watched a few shows. Not all of them, but watched the parts where Tommy and C talks about he shoves quarters up his ass.
I know, that's a classic. And it's kind of funny. When I joined in on the YR show, when I joined in on the YR show that a couple of weeks back, Danny MT was like, trying to get, he said he was going to advocate, Joe Cronin, and to get rid of those donations featured Tommy, including the Buy Me a Mask one, but then again, YR said something like Tommy did all that by himself. Tommy did that out of the blue, and Danny MT was like, but that hurts Tommy's feelings. But you got to remember, sometimes you need to have that replayed to you to remind you what not to say or do next time.
Yep. By the way, those are Tommy moments that are iconic.
Absolutely.
So you want to get rid of iconic Tommy moments?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people. He was on there every single fucking week.
He was, back almost every day, because Tommy, because he knew that it would get attention. Tommy loves attention. We all know that.
Yep, pretty much every week, Tommy started out on Monetize This.
Yeah.
I think Danny MT should stop this defense of Tommy, because he's not really defending Tommy. He's trying to speak for Tommy. Like, that's not defending.
I think when I was on the call with all those guys, he said he was done defending Tommy, because Tommy told him, stop, you don't need to defend me no more, because you got to remember, all that stuff that Danny was saying was falling back upon Tommy. It's like, Tommy, why are you having this guy as your friend and such, and with all the grief and ridicule and Tommy gotten in the past on various shows, Tommy doesn't need that, concerning one of his friends.
Yep. I never liked Tommy, okay? I'm one of those people that just doesn't like Tommy.
Yeah.
But Tommy is smart when it comes down to, friends and, clout. So
friends, who's your friend, who's your enemy, and who's bringing in the clout such and such.
Tommy's a fucking snob.
He is,
let's be honest. Tommy's a snob, dude. That's
I know.
I
agree with that.
That's one of the biggest words I would use on Tommy is he's a fucking wannabe rich snob, because he's not really rich. His parents and shit have control of his money, and he don't have to really worry about money, you know what I mean? But he works a little bit too. Yeah. But he has money, but he's not gonna go homeless. You know what I mean? He'll never go homeless.
That's good. Because
here's one thing I will give Tommy. He does know how to dress.
Yeah, that's true. He's his
own.
He sure
doesn't. He doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to do a bat. He doesn't know how to fucking sing, man. I'll tell you, that shit's terrible.
I heard about that. I remember that.
That fucking shit is trash, dude. And he's up there performing in front of a live studio audience, man.
Karaoke night, I believe.
Fucking people, dude. No, it ain't karaoke night.
Really?
Dude, he sets up and it's like it looks like a setup. It looks like a setup where they're fucking paying them to show up and play or something. You know what I mean? It's fun.
For the Vikings, though, he went up there. He was willing to get embarrassed in front of a crowd.
He keeps doing it. He keeps doing it.
But it takes balls to do that.
Yeah.
The band is 10 times better than him. Honestly, if the band ain't all that, and the band is like a 5 out of 10 band, and Tommy's a 1.
And let me guess, this is Hamza's band, if I'm correct,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
because remember his friend Hamza plays the guitar in the band there.
It's bad. I feel bad that like Tommy is like the star of the show since he's the lead singer. You know what I mean? It's like, man, that's bad, dude. Like,
but you know what? We've spoken about this before. Tommy is one of his only addictions is attention.
Well, he's getting it.
Yeah, he does.
Negative attention.
But he's still getting attention no matter what, you know. He deep down inside he wants all the positive attention, but either way, you know, it's attention that he craves. And we talked about it a couple, I guess it was last year on when I had you and Silver on my channel here. Basically, he wanted, I guess either he got no attention as a younger kid or he had too much attention as a kid, and obviously he's grown somewhat accustomed to it.
Well, here's one thing I bet. More than likely, he grew up with attention because realistically speaking, once you get all the attention, you're going to be used to the attention. Yep. And once people give you so much attention, you're going to be craving it because you're the center of the spotlight.
Same thing with entitlement.
Yeah.
Same thing with these kids. Same thing with all these kids, you know, who grow up getting everything they wanted from their parents just to keep them happy. They grow up as adults and they find out life doesn't work that way. They're gonna lose their shit, you know.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, that's Tommy for you.
It can only get him so far, though.
Well, hold on. There's one thing I do not like about Tommy. He'll use his autism as a crutch usually.
Yeah, everybody has called him out on that one, including me myself.
Yep.
There's
no need. Okay?
Yeah, go back to episode 126 of Monetize This, what I called in on, where I addressed that issue there. He has played the A card in the past.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, he shouldn't need to do that. Apparently, there's one instance recently, I think this was like 2-3 months ago, where he made there was a Twitter post with his profile pic on it. He says, that wasn't me. While Dave Rose is trying to argue with him, that is him. He's like, well, it's because of my autism. Like, what?
What?
You posted that because of your autism?
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
What the fuck?
There's no need to use your autism as a crutch. You just admit you did it. No one's saying you're bad for doing it because people were laughing at the,
laughing at
picture that was supposedly Tommy that posted that was deleted. It looked like a turkey, but I don't know.
I remember. I think I did see a brief viewing of that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I just wish Tommy didn't. I guess I relate to Tommy in several ways that I can understand his position on things.
Yeah.
But I've grown up differently from him, so.
So did I. Remember, I have the same autism that he has, a high-functioning kind. But the difference, and I try many times. You'll remember, I have tried many times, to give Tommy advice. I made a few videos in the past, trying to give him advice on what not to do. Now, don't give your password out to this person or that person because they'll take advantage, like James Woolery did, that idiot. And he said he said it's not advice, it's condemning me. The same way Bullfrog is like, like you're attacking me, you're judging me. You're just jealous because you're not gay. It's like, which is another thing I want to ask. Why is it people with autism have a hard time accepting any kind of criticism or advice? Why do they view it as somewhat evil?
Well, here's one thing. It's not just autism people. It's people in general that grew up in a bad way. They grow up entitled. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if they have autism. They'll use anything to make themselves better. Joe Cronin says he has whatever, but that doesn't make his actions okay. Like, I don't know what he says. I want to commit suicide. That's supposedly
that makes
his
me
joke.
mad when he does that. I mean, and
But, if it's a joke, why do you say it so often? It's his go-to, I guess. But,
I know Nikki Nines called him out massively because of that. Because there was a shooting in some mall in Colorado. 10 people got killed. I guess one of those Haji type of guys went ballistic and started shooting up the place there. And later on that evening on this Raw review, Joe Cronin said, it's kind of a joke. Said I'd rather be in a mall in Colorado than watch Monday Night Raw. And Nikki Nines was like furiated that he said that. It was supposed to be a joke, but it wasn't really that. It really wasn't funny. And I also need to say this, I said that Joe has a wife, he has a family. Like if he were to really kill himself, you know how heartbroken and angry and resentful they would be at him if he actually did that. If he is bipolar or whichever, he needs to seek treatment for it. But then again, he had stated he doesn't have insurance. I don't know what was up in the state of Massachusetts there, but I understand it's a blue state, and I guess getting the real help is in a blue state is kind of like difficult, like Michigan was. Many times I tried to get help in that stupid ass state and got turned down left and right. But the thing that gets me is that there are people out there who are struggling financially, mentally, and emotionally. Mental issues with everything else there. And for what I understand from Ken, he often does that so people will feel sympathetic and send in donations. Now, if that's the case, that's a kind of a slap in the face to those who I mentioned who are struggling mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, that's true. Well, funny thing is, when I popped in this thing, Joe Cronin was like, well, you were like an angel that fell when I was at my lowest point. So it's like, maybe it was, but I don't know.
Yeah, but still, I would never use anything like I would have killed myself. Like, if I just were watching Monday Night Raw, I would just simply, Raw was so bad I wanted to shoot my TV. There you go. That would be a better option.
It is. Yeah. I guess suicide jokes can be a little hardcore, but
not to me. Not to me.
Is that okay? If you're gonna make a suicide joke, at least be a little original about it, or at least try to make it.
I don't consider suicide. I don't consider cancer or suicide funny at all. Because remember, my girlfriend of over 3 years, Nancy, she ended her life after years of struggling with mental illness. And plus, a friend of mine named Izzy, years before, he hung himself over a girl that dumped his ass, and he was going through a lot of hard times to boot. And I found out soon after moving here, that a buddy of mine named Dirk, he took his own life after moving to Boston because he ran himself into a few situations there where he was massively in debt and he was able to pull himself out. So, and I used to attend his parties at this place in Detroit, a lot of times. Hors d'oeuvres, good music playing on the TV there and on the stereo there. All of us, I remember all of us were singing out loud to Space Oddity by David Bowie one time. It was a fun time there, and now he's gone.
Yeah, suicide is a real situational thing. My brother killed himself.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, it's difficult to deal with that time.
It is.
Yeah, but I will not. I do judge Joe Cronin for saying suicide jokes constantly because you do make them very much often.
Yeah.
You say they're jokes, but oftentimes they sound serious.
Yeah, but and sometimes the joke wears a little bit too thin.
Yeah.
It gets tiresome after a while.
I Travis TC on that one because Joe Cronin's like, "Oh, you just don't get a joke." Well, you say it so often. Like, what are people supposed to think? You ain't even doing something different. You're like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself." Like, what do you want us to think?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Think about that, how the public's going to view all that. You got to think about that, man. You got to watch what you say at times because people can misinterpret it.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that in high school.
Yeah.
There's some, 'cause I wish, and even back in last year, I wish I could take back some of the things I said because maybe I should not have
Oh,
said them.
dude, I made so many mistakes. Let me put it this way. I mentioned this to my sister one time when we had a conversation. If I were to, if me, the 55-year-old Earl, were to say meet the teenage Earl, the younger Earl, who was an asshole back then, I would punch him in the jaw. Because I was such an ass. I said a lot of dumb shit. I did a lot of dumb things. I made a lot of dumb decisions, you know. And when I think about it, it's like, holy cow, I went through a lot of shit. But then again, a lot of shit was my doing there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then again, those,
I can relate to
and you know what? And whoever came up with the phrase, bad decisions make damn good stories, they were on the dot. And also they also make lead to better choices in the end.
Well, I'm 21 years old. It's like I feel like I gained wisdom a little too fast.
Right. But that's also good. Wisdom is a good thing there, man. Wisdom is good. Knowledge is power.
Yeah. I hope I'm wise enough, but I'm still learning.
Yeah, that's true. You still learn along the way there.
Yeah.
I remember John Mellencamp
There is a
said...
saying, though.
Go ahead.
There is a saying, though. I don't think Joe Cronin, Bullfrog, Tommy will ever learn at these times. Here's a saying. A fool can't learn from a wise man, but a wise man can learn from a fool. I have learned from Joe, but I don't think Joe has learned from himself.
Yeah. I know Ken has pointed that out as well as Dave Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that thing, too. Like, you'd expect people older than you to be a role model, but it's so different.
I know. At this point, I don't think there are any more role models right now. I mean, me and Vikings and Super Bowl were talking about Bill Cosby last week, you know, and remember how much of a big role model he was for all of us. You know, he was America's favorite dad, air quotes, and look what happened to him later on. Look what was revealed about him.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden now look, he got out of fucking jail too.
I know. Exactly.
It's weird.
And yet
it's weird. It's weird how there was no warning.
Exactly. I was surprised myself. And yet, as we mentioned, Britney Spears is still in this conservatorship with her dictator of a father. And that singer, Kasha, she's still in, her court cases is still going on between this producer named Dr. Luke, who she claims raped her a few times.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the Free Britney, the Free Kasha hashtags were like all over Twitter and Facebook and all over social media here and there. And one time, you know, Kasha was denied, you know, that release from that particular contract. So she had to record for that BMG label. I guess it was either RCA or Arista. But, you know, she was in tears when that was read to her. And of course, she's still fighting that right now as we speak. We just haven't heard from it. And, you know, that's probably one of the big reasons why she hasn't put out any new material, which to me is pretty good because I couldn't stand that shit. Couldn't stand that song, TikTok, that she had a couple years back. My ex-girlfriend used to sing that a couple times, like, stop. Yeah. But, you know, it goes to show what goes on behind the scenes there.
Yeah.
A lot of shit going on behind the scenes there, you know. All right.
It's the behind the scenes that is the most interesting story.
Yeah.
You got the front cover to interest you.
Yep.
But what really interests you is the back cover.
Absolutely. The details in between, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Go deeper, babe. Everybody listening, go deeper. Whether it's music, movies, stories, always go way deeper, no matter what. Don't let one party tell you one thing and then only to find out that the other party has something logic as well. Question both sides, whether it's Republican or Democrat. Question both sides.
Exactly.
All right.
I agree 100%.
Okay.
You can never stop learning.
Absolutely.
You can never know enough. There's no way of knowing enough information. Your brain is limitless. It can hold approximately like 10 million information in your head. You can know anything if you attempt to learn the things. So if you're interested in something, you can learn it. You just have to have interest in that certain subject.
Absolutely there. Okay, it's about, I think we're going to end the show for tonight. I got to get ready for work tomorrow there. I'll be working all weekend as always, And Bozy, we're glad you called in, to participate in these discussions. Also want to thank Minnesota Vikings fan, for being part of this as well. We got to do a episode number 2 pretty soon there.
Dirty Brown-Eyed Drama, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 1 in the books.
All right there.
Thanks, Bozy.
All right, thank you, Bozy, for being part of this. Once again, kid.
Thanks for getting me on. Okay
there. All right. Okay. This will be doing it for tonight's episode. And I don't know when we'll do the next episode there. It all depends on what time Minnesota Vikings fan and myself have available there. But it should be pretty soon there. All right?
Yeah, one of these days.
All right, yeah. All right. And also a reminder, next Monday, Arknoya and the Doctor will be back. Arknoya and the Doctor will be back. And we'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Arknoya Stroke and Bean and Y Arges as well.
All right. But this is Dirty Brown Eye Show Drama, Episode 1, Dirty Brown Eye Drama.
All right.
About it.
All right.
Like it.
Thank you, everybody watching. You have yourselves a great weekend. And have a good time there. Bye-bye.